What's going on, guys? Matt with Motoworks here. And two things. We're working on the Accord today, and I got a lapel microphone. If you've actually seen the video of this car when I first got it, you'll know that it was covered in green algae. The engine was half together. I had to put that together, and the interior was in shambles. So I've since repaired the engine. The car runs and drives great. And recently I just had the rust repaired. So I'm going to flash up just a brief video of what it looked like before. All right, so that's what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. As you can see, all of that rust is gone. So no more rust around these rear quarters here. And what's really nice is no longer is there a big gaping hole inside the door here. Now on the other side, it looks identically the same. Again, if we look, there's no rust on these wheel arches at all. Down here there was a little bit of pitting, but it has all been repaired and looking beautiful. Now, as beautiful as that stuff looks and as nice a job as my buddy Timmy did, on the way home from the body shop, I was merging onto the highway and the car just felt very sluggish and wouldn't accelerate like it should. And I thought, you know, the engine just basically let loose on me. So I looked in the rear view, looked for smoke, didn't see any. So I thought, okay, something else going on. And then the death wobble started. The steering wheel started shaking violently, and when you hit the brakes, it got even worse. So I knew at that point I had a brake caliper that was seizing or seized periodically, momentarily, whatever you want to say. And I think it was this one. If you look at the wheel, it looks pretty dirty. So it looks like that's the culprit there, the one that was sticking. I got it to unstick. It stopped grabbing the brakes. I just pumped the brakes a bunch of times, and I got it to unstick. But the damage was already done. When you apply the brakes now, they shake really badly, so it warped the rotors from hanging up. Alrighty, so what I did is I ordered a new caliper, new rotor pads, and I also got wheel bearings, because if you know anything about these earlier Accords, you know that they have basically a trapped rotor. The rotor is trapped between the wheel bearing and the hub. It's just added security that you get a wheel bearing, because there is a good possibility I could destroy that bearing, and I just want to have a nice new one in the event that I do. Now I got all of this stuff, plus I have all of it for the other side, so I am going to be replacing both brakes, both caliper, everything on both sides of the car. I also got a 20-ton shop press in the event that I have to replace bearings. And we are going to get started now. Now, this is not a cheap job to have a shop do it, because it is a pretty involved brake job. The way I do it is I like to remove the spindle. If you have this special tool, you don't need to remove the spindle, but since I do not have that tool, that's where I start first. The way it works is this outer part here, or the hub, goes all the way through here. So this is part of the hub right here, and that presses into this bearing. Now this bearing is bolted to the spindle. So the only way you can get this front portion out is if you have this special tool that presses just that front portion out without completely taking this bearing apart. This is the reason why I got bearings, because if I end up damaging this bearing, taking this stuff apart all I have to do is put a nice brand new bearing assembly in there and I should be good to go. But in order to get this brake rotor off, I now have to take this bearing out of this spindle. So that may require a press, and there's my press, still brand new in the box. So let me put the press together. Alright, now that I have the press set up, I'm going to unbolt the rotor. So this is what secures the rotor to the actual hub. This is the hub here. I'm going to unbolt the rotor from the hub. Then I'm going to take the press and I'm going to press on the rotor. Well, I'm going to use the press, the arms there, to hold pressure on the rotor, and I'm going to press out the hub. Now when I pressed the hub out of the bearing, this race stayed attached to the hub. I figured that would happen, that's why I ordered a new bearing. And to get that off, I just cut it with a blade. And this is a hardened metal, so as soon as I cut through, I just tapped it with a chisel. That broke this, giving it enough movement to slide off of the hub here. I got a little bit happy with the grinder, but it's not going to hurt it. It's not going to affect anything, but it just stinks. I got a little bit happy with that. Now when I reassemble stuff, I'm a huge fan of things like cleaning parts really well, making sure that the pieces go together nice and smoothly. So anti-seize, Loctite, things like that I love using when I'm putting this stuff together. I also like to grab the torque wrench and torque things down to spec. It's not difficult anymore with Google. You just search anything you want and you can get those torque specs, and I think it took me 2 minutes to find the torque specs for all the suspension components on this. So that's just what I like, guys. You can do your own thing when you're doing a job like this, but for me it just makes the job that much smoother and, you know, kind of future proofs. It makes it easier for when I want to take this stuff apart, you know, sometime down the road. Just my 2 cents on the matter. So you gotta make sure you put the brake rotor on the right way. Use the old brake rotor as a reference. Honestly guys, if anybody out there has any idea why Honda decided to go with this brake setup, what the benefits of this brake setup were, please drop a comment below. This job just takes forever. Alrighty guys, so we got the brakes on, and I've seen too many bearings fail, so I always like to grab the old torque wrench, lower the car down so it's on the wheels in park with parking brake on, and just torque it. The torque on this is pretty high, about 180 foot-pounds, so it's a lot of oomph, but I found torquing it instead of rattling it on tends to keep the wheel bearings in better shape for a longer time. So that's what I do. You can do it your way, that's fine. There you go. Pretty simple. Torque it. There's the old cap. Pop that back on. And all you got left to do after that's torqued is just peen that end over. There we go. Good. All right, down, slow, and hold. You holding? Up. Down slow, hold. All right, pump them up.
Pump?
Pump them up.
Up?
Pump, 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 pump. They're good?
Yeah.
All right,
Now what?
let it go.
Up?
Let it go.
I'm done?
Yeah.
I'm done? Good.
Yay. It's a little lesson in communication. Good, brakes are done. We can button this up. The batteries are running low in the camera. I have the car all buttoned up. I just ran out of daylight and I've got a humongous mess. If you look, there's just a huge mess of stuff everywhere. I tried my best to stay organized, but something like this where you're running to and from, I failed. I had a tough time keeping it organized, and I got it done, both sides. It's a pain in the butt. I do not like the way that Honda did this. I'm glad that they've changed it, but yeah, got that done. I should not have to worry about that for a long time on this car. So yeah, it's a pain in the butt. I still have to get the radio. I'll take you for a little peek here. There, the $45 radio that I unboxed a while ago. Still have to finish wiring it up. I still have to run the wire for the backup camera. So that's coming. I haven't got to it yet, but that is coming. It's going to be coming really quickly because I do have to button this car up. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for checking it out. We'll see you in the next video. I'm Matt. This is Motorworks.